what the hex is you guys talking about?
Boom! What the hex?
The hex!
Episode number 7. Welcome. You see, now that I put 7, it's a lucky number
7.
Lucky
we made
7.
it.
And hex is pumping too. Like it's a what the hex
7 cents show.
Energy. Woo-hoo. And now that I put Peter into the intro, he's no longer showing up for the show.
He just did it long enough to get in the intro. He's a sneaky Pete, is what he is.
That's a malicious plan. But we got Elmeyer with us today, which is nice.
Elmeyer who doesn't have a video today for us. He's got a flag.
Oh, he's incognito.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too hot today, let's say.
Ooh, chiming in from the office. But get well soon wishes to Peter. He is under the weather with a little bit of a sniffle.
Sniffle. Yeah. We said, Jinx, buy me a Coke.
It's going around in Europe. Like I was under that last week. So get well soon. Let me say hi to the chat real quick before we get started on these hot topics that we have prepared for you. First is Nom Nom. You see, Alan Fizemay last night, he tried to pull a fast one and get in there, before Nom Nom and all of them. But no, that's not how the game goes.
Nom.
So Nom Nom is first. We got SE in here. Jim Rap Crypto. Wow, that is a rare UFO sighting on our channel. But welcome. Got Avalon in here. Dejan Dougie. What the hex? Exactly. Mrs. Avalon in the place. Finbear, I got the joke in. Oh, man, sorry, that's a bit too late, the submission, but we'll save that for next week. We've got some other jokes too.
We have to review it. We have to review it for quality control. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. At first.
Yes, because our quality control is very high standard.
Hello.
Oh,
there's Peter under the weather.
Yeah, he is. How are you feeling?
Better than yesterday. It sucks. I lost my.
Why do you have to put him next to me? I could get infected by this.
Contagious.
If I could, I would be sitting next to you, hugging you.
Oh.
Got Sandeep in the chat. One day Richard will go live and say, "Hey guys, Pusussel is live. Go and stake." That's it. I cannot wait for that day. Hexiquin is here. The lovely Hexiquin. Welcome everybody. Jaden in the chat. Red Squirrel with the oink oink as usual. Hex Bees is in here. Man, that's quite a crowd. And Hex is pumping, guys. First order of the day is of course the price. Shall we look at the price chart?
Yes.
It's horrible. There are like no dips anymore. What the
exactly. Fuck? Well, you had all of this here, 6-7 months to buy the dip.
Yeah.
So I have this little I think I've drawn this crooked kind of a channel here. So you see, ain't that kind of nice?
Sir, a crooked channel.
It is a bit crooked down here, but I try to get as many touch points in as we can. It's a daily chart. And last night I was a little bit worried because it was correcting. But then Bitcoin came through and lifted the whole market up again somewhat. And today Hex is pumping again. It's now back up to 6.3, which is nice. And as long as we're still within this channel, the world is your oyster. RSI not too overbought.
Excuse me, my connection sucks. I will try to log back in. Please excuse me for a moment, people.
Yes, go suck yourself.
Yay!
Or as Kinetics would
Hey,
say.
unfuck your shit, bro.
Exactly, SE. I'm sick of waiting. 20 cents now, please. Thank you.
I mean, it's kind of funny when you look at it, like, you know, also with the Bollinger Bands, that the candles are nicely sticking to the upper side.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is a trend. You know, if you go back all the way here, you see when we were going up crazy, you see the candles sticking to the upper end.
Yes.
And when it's bearish, they're sticking to the lower end. Simples. And then we had here this fake out for the Pulse X sacrifice. It was in December. And then we all thought this correction is over and we go to the moon, but no, took it further. And then, you know, you see the candles again sticking to the lower.
Is this a weekly chart?
This is a daily chart.
Daily.
And then we had the midish May pump, where again the trend changed because people thought we will launch in May.
So many people got burned on that.
Yeah,
At
me too.
That I personally know.
And then the Saudis back down again. And then we were like really trending here in some sideways shit since June, like the 6-7 months, plenty of time for people to get in at below 10-cent prices.
Why is this not logarithmic, DJ?
Because I want to see the action, the nitty gritty. But now the trend, I think, also looking at the volume here.
Sound.
Oh, Papa B is back.
Yeah, but he's back, but he's there's no sound.
There's no sound on your end, Papa.
So that's my Uncle Cryptomatic analysis. But I think the fact that we're clinging again to the upper end, it's bullish. Yes.
For those that remember the end stream math that I did last stream.
Yes.
I started dollar cost averaging like at 19 cents, and since I'm being consistent with it, my average is now 5 cents. So I'm like 20% in profit with my DCA.
You see? It's working. I actually had to watch that twice to really understand it, but well done. Yes. So everybody, if you want to understand what DCA means when it comes to Hex, please go back and watch last Thursday's episode of What the Hex.
What the hex is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Exactly. And then there's, of course, Wales only when it comes to
everything
charts.
you do on a chart is fucking irrelevant. So just understand that the next time somebody tries to come at you for not using an indicator or not knowing how to use an indicator, because the indicator isn't going to fucking pay you. You pressing sell at the right time is going to pay you, and you pressing buy at the right time is going to fucking pay you. So make sure you understand that.
Dan told you.
And that's more.
And here I was thinking that the indicator was going to pay me.
and
most people pay to get the indicator.
Exactly, which you don't need, guys. You don't need.
And that it's very important.
Everyone loves that I was muted. That's great.
Let's let Elmire speak.
Yes. Go ahead, Elmire. I'm sorry. There's a delay on me. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, right. Can we agree that we let him speak?
Shut up, Peter.
It's important that people understand that 99% or 99.9% of indicators that people use are actually lagging indicators. So they move or they do what they do after the price moves. So they are not very useful.
Are there any indicators that are not lagging? That's my question, because I don't think there are.
Some would say the Ishimoku clouds are, but
really?
I would.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have to look more into it to actually agree.
The Ichimoku cloud.
Other than that, I don't think any other.
It's like
at least the default ones or the available ones.
Ichimoku is like a
regular
window into the future. It like gives you an idea of how the next 10 days it will trade, but it's not really.
Yeah, that's what it
Sometimes it's
advertises
right,
to be.
sometimes not. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at TA more like self-fulfilling.
You mean it's like probability? Sometimes
it's like iota. Sometimes
the
coins
problem
are
with
there,
all
sometimes
TA
not.
is that to me they are self-fulfilling prophecies. It's
Is
like
there an
it's more likely that it
Ichimoku
happens
in this?
because more people agree that it will be more likely they happen, and so they end up happening.
Oh,
no,
there is
it's pure statistics.
Let's have a look. Ichimoku. Oh yeah, that's bullish. That's bullish because we crossed through. It's again when we're trading below the Ichimoku cloud. And it's a bit hard to see now because I have so many things here up, but
you have to
this
remove a
reddish
few
thing.
indicators.
Yeah. If you maybe
Unfuck your shit, bro.
maybe if I take the Bollinger Band away. Okay, so this is this reddish thing. So when we're trading below the Ichimoku cloud, like our candles are here, and the Ichimoku cloud, which is Japanese, is here.
Oh.
That means it's bearish, and it's continuing to be bearish until we cross through that cloud, which we just did, kind of. Like we were here below the Ichimoku cloud. Here we crossed it, and now we're trading way above the Ichimoku cloud. So that is bullish. And fuck. Fuck me.
That's what she said.
Fuck me, that's bullish. And yeah, but whatever. It's like hindsight 22. Yeah.
Oh
Anyway.
God damn it.
Right. Next topic I had was from our brother Side Effects, who sent in this, who is a fellow drum and bass DJ in the Hex community, and this is kind of like for the elderly people, and he had this mix-up into it. So once we get to retirement age, this is
I have a
how
question.
we get down. Yes.
Question that all of us should consider. Why, in this day and age, do walkers still rely on tennis balls?
Yeah, what's with the tennis balls?
What the fuck is up with that?
It's a proven technology.
If it works,
It's
don't
like
change
Bitcoin.
Yeah, never change a running system.
Why? Why don't they make like a branded thing or like a thing as a set or say, this is a good idea. It should be packaged together. But no, they always say, get your grandnephew to cut an X in a tennis ball and stick it on the foot. It'll be great for you.
Maybe it's lemons. I don't know.
Because
Lemons.
Papa B,
Yes.
if you need a walker, you don't have any money, mostly, for most of the
Oh.
population,
Right. So then this is not for a Hexican then.
It's for Hexicans DJs. And next up, we have our ongoing segment of coming soon. So Richard was heavy on the Twitters this Monday, or was it Sunday? And I need your guys' help with this because I have no fucking clue what any of this shit means. Testing is going very well. Prism pulls, Go pulls, Lighthouse pulls, private V3 testnet is running. Sacrifice credits, but we knew this before. 32 million pulls, validated deposits, 10 second slots. We're still on the 10 seconds. Consensus layer reward, validated nodes, Prism beaking. Yeah, this is maybe Aragon has a problem they introduced recently. So devs are rolling back to a version before they introduced the bug.
Yeah,
Thus,
reversing the code.
Yeah, Pulse devs are working on both the rollback version and they're trying to fix it. What do we make of that? I don't feel like a sense of urgency here. It's like, well, we're testing. And
well, the worst thing to do,
thing.
let me say that from a sales perspective, the worst thing to do in this type of situation is to grab the devs by the scruff of the neck and say, do something quickly. you really have to let them suss out what
Yeah, yeah.
is wrong with the
course.
proposal. Yeah.
Security.
And it also relies on them communicating with another group of engineers. So I don't think it warrants any kind of pulling your dress over your head and running around in circles type of behavior. I think it's more like, all right, par for the course. We hit a snag. The snag is isolated. We have two different ways to progress, and one of them relies on an outside bit of feedback. We could either fix it, which could happen later, or we roll back to the previous version where we didn't have the problem.
Yeah.
We're taking
Exactly.
both.
Yeah, and when you're working with third-party dependencies, you always have to be mindful of new updates because they can totally screw you if you're not aware of what the actual changes are. I know that I once did a code change that depended on a third party that I updated to the newer version, and unknowingly they changed the time per meter they used from milliseconds to nanoseconds. So basically, I had a scheduler function that would retry the connection to a service, but instead of waiting like a few minutes, he ended up waiting years because I was calculating, assuming that it was a millisecond, but it was actually nanoseconds. And that simple change basically screwed the entire thing up. So to no fault of mine, right? Only not knowing what they actually did to the code. So it's very important when you're working with dependencies or third-party dependencies that you're aware of the changes that are done on any new version and only upgrade if it's really necessary.
Right. And maybe they're even going further to also fixing Ethereum stuff as they go along, which is actually very commendable. And finally, he was complaining about this imposter, and HEX made this funny joke that, like, all these people here in the back, she was like, "So this is not your dev team," which I found hilarious.
The guy in the black, the Sikh turban, is definitely the dev team guy right there. That's the lead developer.
Financial controller. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Before we go into ethnic joke territory, let's close this. So do you guys have any further
You
comments
mean the best
on,
joke territory?
on the recent updates? Anything else on that worth mentioning, Elmire?
No, from what I heard, the only thing that's worth mentioning is I have a confirmation that the minimum seg is 32 million pulse, which we had an inkling that it would be. Which, for anyone that's not aware, that would be at sacrifice value like $3,200, if I'm not mistaken. So not that high, I would say, for most people that sacrifice to actually get right out the bat.
Yeah.
And that we won't be able to remove our stake for the validators unless the new Ethereum
EIP
comes and patches it, then Chain will then patch it also based on that change. So the new Ethereum update. So they won't be waiting for that in order to launch Pulse Chain, which I believe to be a good choice.
What I would be interesting to ask Richard would be if they plan to unfuck the S-load bullshit that Ethereum introduced.
Yes.
He said he would try to tweak it as least as possible when he spoke about it on one of his last streams. I think it was even on the Ivan on Tech one, if I'm not mistaken. So he'll probably tweak it a little bit, but not drastically change. Probably one of the ones that you would look at would be the X, the one that X uses the most, of course. But you won't revamp it completely.
Well, in that case, we can do a life hack here by having the
It should-
community kind of band together and help a buddy out if they need some pulse to end a stake or something at some
But
point.
basically, it should be just a value change. Like instead of this number, it is this number.
Well, not simple. Not that it's not that simple because that
Of
change
course,
was
but-
done for a specific reason on the Ethereum side. Like if Vitalik doesn't came up and just decided let's fuck all the Hexicans, right? He did it for a specific security reason.
In a way,
That's kind of what it is,
because
right?
there exists this theoretical way to attack
Attack the chain.
something. But
Yeah, of course, but they need to understand exactly what is the risk of that being used against the network or not, and decide if they will drop it or not. Because remember that the fee values will also change drastically. So even without that S-load change, the fees will still be a lot cheaper on the Pulse chain.
Yes.
So you might feel that changing it right now won't really drastically improve our situation on the Pulse chain. So you might decide to do it at a later time with more time.
would make sense. Yes.
And Hexicans all have Pulse coming, and if they don't, like I said, you could like mow the lawn of a fellow Hexican and get some Pulse. Come on.
Well, there will be faucets right off the bat. At least they have been advertised for years now. So
Yeah, one
I would
pulse a
assume
day
they will be
for
launched.
free or something. Yeah.
Or you can
And-
mow my lawn for 10 Pulse.
But my understanding from the Ethereum Foundation was that to fix all of this, including the sharding and everything that is planned on the roadmap, will take another 4 years. And so they are in no rush to fix our problem there and just drag it out. But I would really hope that with the arrival of Pulse Chain, that our
They'll speed things
devs
up.
would have looked into all of this. Yes. And that
Yeah, I think the goal right now is to actually launch and then look into the future.
Yeah,
I
that
think
should be
that's
the,
the
should
goal.
be the
That sounds about
priority.
right. Sounds about right.
That's what I said to
mean-
my ex-wife, and it didn't work out too well.
I mean, the bull market is starting, so it's time.
Right. So we
It's time.
had my pleb TA. Let me check for the topic. So my pleb TA, that's done. And speaking on dollar cost averaging, Elmaya, you have posted the spread, the fantastic spreadsheet from last week into our Telegram room, right?
Yeah, I share it with the What the Hex public Telegram chat for
Awesome.
everyone to download if they want to and play around
Yes.
with the numbers.
Get
Excuse
in
me.
there. I'm posting the link one more
DJ
time.
Cryptomatic, did you my old age is screwing up my addled brain, but can you tell me, did you highlight the JFK 666 super chat? Or did you ignore somebody who is so gracious?
Oh my
And-
God, we had a super chat. We haven't had a
Yes.
super
This
chat in years
See?
on this channel.
Episode
Oh my goodness.
007, DJ
Apologies.
Blofeld.
Blofeld.
DJ Blofeld. Good evening, Mr.
Good
Bond.
evening, Mr. Bond. You evil genius, it's Bond. James Bond. No, Papa
No.
Bond.
Moron, you screwed it up.
I
That's
screwed up the
$5.
joke.
$5 you owe him for that joke being screwed up.
Steered, not shaken. Yes. Well done. Thank you for the super chat. We don't know who gets that, but thank you very much.
A little bit
Shaken, not
kinetics,
stirred.
I think. Kinetics, RG, and then they, I don't know, pay
It's
taxes
for
on it.
some new underwear.
I tried to in the last episode I tried to supplant Xe with my attire and my model skills, but I think we need the Xe Queen to pump the shirts and the super chat.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes, Hexicans. When on stream? Huh?
Hexicans, we need to get you on the show in a Hex shirt. Exactly. No, thank you for the super chats, guys. That goes to paying the bills for the Discourse Syndicate software that we're all using here and marketing the channel. So that's very kind. Thank you for the support. Papa B, you had, before I go into the next topic, which is a a big one, or shall I roll into that first?
Roll into that first, because
Roll into
mine
that
is going to
first.
take a sharp freaking leap off the cliff in terms of insanity. So
Oh,
you
boy.
go first, and
Oh
then
boy.
I'm going to have to whip up and warm up the old whammy to get the blood vessels put back into the side of my cranium because I'm so freaking angry.
All right. But mine is also not too lighthearted of a topic. I see, and this is kind of the hot discussion on Twitter these days, that many of these old crypto influencers, YouTube influencers who used to shit on us for years, are now turning back around and are, oh, I'm a Hexican and I've sacrificed. And the question that I have really also for the chat is like, how are we dealing with this? I mean, there's this one guy that who I really like. That's Keith Waring. If you have a look at his tweet here, or I probably need to enhance that.
By the way, Finbear says that Tom Gillespie sends his regards. We must also, through Finbear, send our regards back through the Finbear mailbox to Tom Gillespie. Postage.
Please return the sentiment.
Postage. Return paid postage. Please ask him to pay the stamp for that return message.
Yes, we love Tom Gillespie. Check out his documentary, bitjoinery.com is, I believe, his website.
Yes.
Have a look. So Keith Waring, who is really the guy, is a British YouTuber on crypto who got me into crypto. So I owe that man a lot. And he interviewed Richard before the launch of Hex, but then wasn't really supporting it. He kept a bit of a neutral stance. But then just yesterday, I saw this tweet from him that last year he went all in on Hex. Better late than never. It was after a simple tweet from Hextronaut about T-share value, and I realized the true value proposition here. I got something back that no one can sell me, and that was my time. It's a no-brainer. So this is kind of nice when it comes like with a proper recognition and with or maybe even with an apology or something like that. I think these people should get a pass. But there were some of them who like were really ferociously shitting on us for years. Like, how do we, like, let's say Tone Vays would come around tomorrow and say, hey, I'm a Hexican now. Like,
hello, everybody. I heard that you were giving free beers out. I'm so sorry. I wanted to maybe have a beer with you. Okay.
Exactly. Like, let's go around the room. Peter, what do we say? Fuck these guys, or do we welcome in everybody back in with open arms?
No, I would not fuck Ton Ways. He's too ugly. First. And well, we talked about this many times. Like, there will be people that just out of nowhere come into the community and it will spread their wings and we love you and stuff, and Hex is great.
Yeah, we had this before, right?
And then they start shilling other shit.
Shilling other shit.
Yeah, it will happen. Like, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why there cannot
the
be
whole
one
cycle will just repeat. It's
one answer fits all, right? So here KDP says, can we stop poking bears who are making an effort and publicly admitting they were wrong? And I get that, and it's not putting us in a good light, but we've also been burned by these kind of people many times. Papa B.
Can I please weigh in here? Because I've got,
Wait.
you know me, I love to hate. So as long as that's out there,
I hate love. Yes.
What's the use of getting what you demanded before? You know, come back here and repent and apologize and tell Richard that you were wrong directly to his face on stream. You know, we used to yell that out. Yeah. What the fuck is there in it for anybody to ever come and truly apologize if we don't welcome them? But keep an eye on them and keep an eye on them and remember what they did. Yeah. You know, we've got one of the fucking Axion influencers in our little in our little thing of ours now. Robbie D, who took a year and a half of his fucking effort vampire attacking our community, and now he's rated one of the top 10 fucking influencers of Hex. Fuck that shit because he never repented. So we
Robbie
should say,
D. There's also Hex Token, who is a streamer. Both of them.
Fuck those guys. That's what I reserve the fuck those guys to people that don't repent and slither back in and skulk back in and start to just change their tune. Like, oh, that last year and a half was nothing. It never happened. I'm still a good guy. I'm still very much a Hex follower. I'm a Hex holder. No, for a year and a half, you tried to boost up the population of your fucking copycat, and that's the worst of the worst, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I wouldn't go the fuck you personally, but definitely observe, like, because the trust has been scratched, has been damaged.
Repent, and thou shalt be forgiven.
Yeah. So Alan Fizime says no amnesty for those guys. Do we have any other? Let's hash this out right here in the chat. Do we have any other opinions from you guys?
You guys
on
What the heck is you guys talking about?
Exactly. So, as I said, we should be like a little bit smarter. At least those of us who are here longer, call it out like Papa B, and that's it. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah,
so it's
you
kind of like
acknowledge them and move on.
Yeah, trust the OGs. Yeah.
Trust but verify. I mean, even some OGs can get
it wrong.
Can go rogue. That's
can
go
lose their way. Yeah, that happens. But there's also a nice shout out from Wendy O as well. Let's listen to this.
Very, 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 very passionate, and I feel your guys' passion. I feel it.
Guys,
that's a market cap. Let's see if we can take a look at the price. And you guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Hex currently trading at 6 cents right now? The reason why I ask is because Hex is not properly portrayed in a lot of these the crypto apps and stuff. So that's why I do want to make sure. But yeah, 1x equals 6 cents. Okay, market cap is 10 billion, volume 22.43 million. So let's go ahead and take a look at Hex and see. So shout out to the Hexicans.
You guys are so, that's what Hexicans invented, right?
What the hex?
That's trademark.
What the hex trademark?
You guys.
She said.
From this show. You guys.
I've never been the biggest Wendy O fan, to be totally honest, but she has always kept a neutral position, and for her to use
like
her
most women do that. Most women are
no,
Peter, I only watch.
It's like the name.
Never come in contact with any
it's normal
women
for a woman.
Beach.
I only watched 2 videos of her, and one was a sim with Richard, and one she was talking about Post-Gen, and that's it.
Yeah, she was on the FN Hangout a few times, and I was always a bit suspicious. But for her to use her popularity and shout us out like that, I mean, that is very, very nice. So well done, Wendy O. We fucks with you.
Huh?
Papa B.
Yes.
No.
Where Bob's?
That's the one.
They're Bob's indeed. So Peter gonna get canceled. We gotta tone him down a little bit because he's a He-Man woman hater. It's the deal. He only has one woman that can tame the Peter, and that is the Sandy Beach.
Right.
Where is Sandy Beach?
I thought you will say my mom.
Do you know her? Do you know who that is?
Who?
Your mom. Forget it.
Who do you think raised me? Wolves?
Yes, sometimes I think exactly that. You came out of the sludge from Chernobyl and walked the earth with the gray hair of a much aged man. Anyway, moving along. What else you got for us, DJ Cryptomatic?
Shall I continue? Internal community shoutouts. I just have 3 things to shill, which is this one, the Pulse Tube. Everybody check out the pulsetube.com and make sure on Sundays to have a look at their website. I don't know how they will play this, but as I mentioned already on Tuesday, they will rebroadcast a ancient Richard Hart live stream every Sunday until Pulse Chain launches. So it's going to be a different one every week.
Please
until we
don't
run
make this
God
be.
damn.
until we
please.
run out of live streams.
Thankful Richard has enough live streams to cover for a few years.
And they chose me to choose the first one.
I pledge to cut my wrists and bleed out like a late steak, 1 pint every 2 weeks. If this happens long, I will definitely have to do that.
And other people let their beard grow, and we've seen all the weirdest of things. People not taking a shower.
Well,
until it launches.
K4K should have a majestic beard by now.
Oh yeah, K4K. He needs to start rolling it out. Exactly.
JFK just got me big time. Can you bring up JFK's comment, please? Papa's so old that the porn he brings home is Debbie does dialysis.
Yeah.
You got me, man. Debbie does dialysis.
2 more years. Yes, let's hope not. So either way, they chose me to pick the first one, and because I'm a big Keith Waring fan, I chose the interview that he did with Keith Waring, Richard, which was in February 2019. It's kind of around the time when the 4 more weeks thing started, and then it took until December for HEX to launch. And it's an interesting flashback into time, also where, in terms of security, where Richard gives a little bit of an insight how he deals with hardware wallets and his seed phrases. So definitely an interesting one to watch. So coming up live next Sunday on PulseTube. Yes.
You know what I would pick? The one live stream where he was with Tone Ways and all the other losers.
All the lawyers.
Yeah.
That's
I think it was the day of the launch. And where he was shaking and like sleep deprived.
Definitely was in that first week. Yeah, absolutely. So that's happening. And then in other news, we have the Top Cats racing team who are still collecting funds. It was the British GT Cup racing team. Top Cats Racing is the company who won all the awards and
they
chalices. How do you call these? The in English, the cups. Is that a cup?
Cups.
Yeah,
it's a cup. Right?
The cup. And they did very well with the Lambos and the HEX branding. So there's 5-6 more days where people can donate some funds to support them, and they have their donation volunteers on the website hexracing2023.co.uk. So it would be nice if the community comes through and supports their efforts, because that was good footage on European sports television.
And what's up with this year's Daytona?
I'm not hearing much, Peter. I'm not hearing much.
We consistently come in last place. We're gate kept to the last position.
But the GT Cup is happening. So
what the heck?
What the heck?
Can you
Tom
say
Gillespie?
Hello.
Welcome
Nice.
to the chat.
This
Nice.
is
Thanks
true.
for
Is this the real one? Are we on the internet with the real one?
Absolutely. Only Tom Gillespie would put this comment on there. He is satisfied with the way the hair turned out.
Okay.
Exactly. And then also I have this here with which Hexican Girl showed out this morning. There is a plan to have a European meetup this summer
For Europeaners.
which will happen
Europeaners.
14th to 15th of July in Budapest, right?
Budapest.
And this is organized by Hex for Life, who's from the UK mostly, and Hexigate, who did this and we're going up and to the right. who did this song, who's from Sweden, I believe. So that's the Euro meetup in Budapest, where it's cheap and the girls are loose and the beer is also not that expensive. So it's going to be fun.
Everything is cheap in Budapest.
Everything
Everything.
is cheap.
Take all your $20 for the whole weekend, and you can have all.
Strip clubs, we got it.
Wow.
Got it all.
And I like Tom's dedication. He's in a call and watching us. That's great.
But probably it's nothing, so don't worry.
Probably it's nothing,
As you were, guys. Go ahead.
You guys.
So watch out for that. Check out Hexican Girl on Twitter. She has more info to that. There is currently just a Telegram
Yeah, be aware. Yes, it's a
room for
Wear
that.
3 condoms.
Don't.
and
Yeah.
yes, at least. And in the UK show last night, they were wondering if we should keep this meetup secret from the Americans. But no, this is of course for all Hexicans. So come all.
The rule for
Euro meetup.
Americans is don't show them where it is on a map and they won't find it.
Yes. So this July in Budapest, and those would be my internals. Papa B.
I've got a bone to pick with someone.
Oh dear. Are you going to get us in
Guys,
trouble?
You guys is I apologize in advance for a lot of the people in the chat have already heard this whole story, but do you remember, Peter, DJ Cryptomatic, in previous shows, I've mentioned that my arch nemesis is someone in this community that has been elusive for the last 3 years, and I haven't been able to find them, and I've been constantly cleaning up after their bullshit. Have you ever heard me say this before?
Yes, one time when it comes to best security practices.
Yes, and who was that person? Do you remember?
No.
Okay, all right. Now I know where to start. Okay, back in the early days of the AA, right? The AA was about to open, and I was on the proto community Telegram chat, and I was telling everyone, even then, guys, you guys, get yourselves a hardware wallet and make sure your onboards get them too, because this shit is going to be worth something someday. So even if it's not worth much now, you should protect yourselves, because in order to be a good community, we ought to do this responsibly. And this guy locked horns with me in the Telegram chat. His call sign was Old Man Hex. And Old Man Hex said, "Oh, no fucking way I'm going to do that. My onboards aren't going to even get past MetaMask. It's too complicated. I'm not going to get the onboards I need. Onboards are the thing. Got on board. Fuck hardware wallets. That's an option. Nice to have. No, MetaMask it is." And over the next year and a half, whenever I had a problem, I would think, well, I wonder how Old Man Hex is doing. And I keep looking him up on Twitter and Telegram. Can't find him anywhere. Old Man Hex. You got it. You got it. Yes, Old Man Hex. So anyway, a year and a half goes by, and all of a sudden I start getting people contacting me by DM. And they're saying, "Oh, I got rinsed. Oh, this is fucking terrible. I'm gonna have to like bow out of crypto. Can you help me? I heard you're the guy to go to." So across my consultancy operating table come these plebs that are wrecked. And I notice a pattern over the next year and a half after that, up until almost recently. I've been getting people, as part of my consultation to them to get them back on their feet and get them doing things right, is always, how did you learn about the community? And I'm telling you, no less than 10 people over that next year and a half told me that they got turned on by this guy, Old Man Hex. And I'm like, fuck, 10 people. That's getting to be a trend. So this guy was like the most concentration of onboards that had problems, primarily stemming from their lack of knowledge and security. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Well, okay, if you know anybody else in your group, please start to proactively spread the gospel of getting a hardware wallet and get the migration done. I got a video for you. Point them to me. I'll help them out to do it, whatever the fuck they need. We got to stop this shit. And my nemesis began to really take form, like this Moriarty type of specter named Old Man Hex. And I vowed if I ever met this bastard, I'd really give him a piece of my mind and say, you're causing fucking problems here. Well, 2 days ago in the Twitter space, lo and behold, this guy comes in and he's talking about this paid group that first of all, he starts lecturing. You know how people that are dumb start to grab the microphone and they start to talk really clearly and really slowly about shit that you already know, but they want to make it seem like they're really smart, so they slow everything down. And inevitably, they'll fuck up
You mean like me?
Like you, yes. No,
like
no,
kinetics?
not like you, Peter. Peter, it's more like this. So when you brush your teeth, you ought to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush and stick it in your mouth, not all the time up your butt. In your mouth, not up your butt. And then they always fuck up one very, normal word. They're looking for this nickel and dime word in their dictionary. They just learned it. They heard it from someone else. They parroted it wrong. And this guy fucks up and he says, yeah, so that's the whole entropy of the situation. And I'm like, huh? What?
Entropiness?
Right. Entropiness. So I'm in the chat on the side texting, of all people, Hex Hangout, who I stream with on the security roundtable. Very knowledgeable guy. And we're just like scratching our head saying, did he just miss you? Okay, I gotta break silence. So I break silence. I say, excuse me, sir. The word that you misused that you were looking for was atrophy. Atrophy means decaying of some body or some piece of your body. The atrophy. Entropy is the randomization, the picking of something from a known set of values. He's like, oh, okay. So what I meant to say was entropy. No, again, you fucked it up. I said atrophy, not entropy. Well, the same thing, but no, they're not the same thing. I just explained to you. Two different words sound roughly similar. Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay, fine. So on he goes. And then he says he's got this paid course for like $450.
What?
And he's got a specific module. And of course, Hex Hangout and I are like online looking, well, what the fuck could this course be, right? We look it up and it's like a pulse chain mastery course, security module, access to exclusive Telegram chat and all this other shit, right? Thanks, Tom. I got to get this off my chest. All right. So anyway, check this out, DJ. Check this out.
Yeah.
So I say,
still,
wow.
I'm still with you.
Right. And then here's the big one, okay? He says, we break silence again and we say, okay, please do tell us, because we're security people. We'd like to evaluate. Give us some of your knowledge in terms of security. Well, it's great. I'll tell you what it is. I show them how to generate their seed words in MetaMask and then put it into their hardware wallet. And my jaw dropped. Peter knows exactly, right? It's like, wait a second. You are generating your initial seed words in your MetaMask 12-word seed phrase using the worst possible way with the worst entropy possible through your soft wallet. And then you're spending money to get the hardware wallet and doing it ass backwards and putting those seeds directly into that hardware wallet. Yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm like, okay, so you got a paid course.
They're down there. I mean, like,
I'm like, please listen to us. Listen to us. We're telling you, you're giving bad advice. You're giving reckless advice to would-be Hexicans and Pulsicans. You must please, if you're a paid freaking shill, right, for this stuff, they're paying you for your knowledge. At least be fucking knowledgeable about how to use a hardware wallet. Well, what's wrong with it? So yeah, this is the get it off my lawn segment for sure. I'm getting to the point. The point is, we begged him to understand that we can give the knowledge that he's charging for free and more accurately. So at least he should listen to us and get it down right. And the guy's call name was Model T, but he had no model. It's kind of ironic. His name was Model T, and then he leaves in a huff. We just kind of rail at him saying, dude, he just isn't getting it. He's got this big ego. He's like, I'm a knowledgeable guy. I'm like, you're not. This is reckless shit. Off he goes. In comes Identity Block, another one of our OG Hexicans, who says, oh, yes, I know that guy. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? It's like, oh, that was Old Man Hex. And I'm like, no, he said he wasn't. I point blank asked him, you sound a lot like this prick old man Hex that I used to debate against back in the day that got at least 10 people wrecked. And he said, no, I don't know who that is. Anyway, later he goes off. Danny Block says, yeah, that's fucking him. Look at the damn logo. It's the same goddamn avatar. And I'm like, he's fucking right. He's right. I recognize that avatar. Another guy comes in, another OG, and says, shut the fuck up, Alan. Anyway, another guy comes in, OG Hexican, and says, confirmed, it's old man Hex. And neither of these people asked each other. Neither of these people heard the conversation. So guess what? I missed my chance. To go after this guy, and he's still causing harm. And now he's asking plebs to pay for it. He's got his walled garden little chat. He won't bring them into the community. Instead, he's acting as the middleman. So if you ever see this guy charging money, you gotta, tell whoever is considering it, get the word out that this Model T like introduction to Hex and Pulse paid course is absolute bullshit. And we in the Telegram chat or the Twitter space would love to give them all the knowledge we have for free. And it's far more accurate. You can come to the security discussion that's every other Thursday. You can come to this channel and make friends with everybody in this chat over here. Lots of knowledgeable freaking OGs and great Hexicans that are in the chat right now.
And Tom Gillespie.
All free. Go ahead, Peter.
And Tom Gillespie.
Tom Gillespie.
And Tom Gillespie. So I
will show you how to do that migration from a pleb wallet to a hardware wallet. No problem. We don't charge $450 for that.
There's already a video with that. That's already
I think
a video
even Crypto Coffee has a video on that.
Yeah,
but,
you can
get this. Here's the killing
shit.
joke. Killing joke. Said, haven't you ever heard of anything that we've done over the last 3 years? Haven't you heard of any of this stuff? No. Haven't you watched Discourse Syndicate? No. You're an OG. Uh-huh. Peculiar. I thought that we were doing a better job than that. Getting the word out. But okay. So be it. Anyway, that's it. That's a wrap.
Since we are talking about security, I think it would be interesting to add in the conclusions that you arrived with the guys on the Australian stream.
Yes. On the
About
Hits from the Bong show with Tangent.
Yeah, about the passphrase, how it actually increases security.
Yes.
How by default the encryption always uses the default passphrase, and that's why it's always the same size. But if you don't add your own, basically you are removing half of the entropy when the when the key is generated. So you're basically reducing by a order of magnitude of like 90 something zeros the complexity of the encryption by not adding a passphrase.
Correct. And we solved the Sphinx's riddle, right? With Tangent, we took the idea that he very logically surmised that because the length of the private key and even the binary length doesn't change because it's fixed at a 2 to the 512th power, how could there be any difference between a passphrase of 1 character length and 100 character lengths or 0 character lengths? And the answer that we proposed, that is the true mathematics of it, is that there is a default passphrase that's given to anybody that doesn't enter one in, right? And the word is mnemonic. It's like white on white. It's already typed in there. So if you don't type it in, if you don't type anything in, that's your passphrase. And even if you do type it in, guess what? Mind blown. It's still the beginning of everybody's passphrase. So if you type in duck, for example, duck is your passphrase. The actual system reads it mnemonic duck.
Yeah.
And so we were able to show him that there's always that portion that is hashed to meet with the 256-bit, because we're talking about 512-bit encryption. It's actually 256 bits of that encryption, or that key length is is the passphrase, held hashed as mnemonic by default. But if you add your passphrase in there, it can fit within the same amount of space because of the hashing. And that's the whole thing. You're a mnemonic duck.
Awesome. I was
Yeah.
just checking if we're still within the channel, but
And-
we're still within the channel.
And just to give a clear overview, basically, even though it's a 512 bit encryption, if you're not using a passphrase, it's like if it was only a 256 bit encryption, because you're only using half of the actual
But
bits.
But as I just said, no, because you have a default passphrase
No,
even
no,
if you
that-
don't use one.
yeah,
So it
that's what I'm-
maintains 512.
No, that I'm saying it's still 512, but in terms of encryption, since half of it is known because
Is known,
you know
correct.
the passphrase, it's
Yes.
like if you had only a 256 bit encryption, and
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken by what was said by X Hangout, in the dark corners of the web, it would actually possible to be cracked.
Well, it's likely. It's a good starting point. Here's
Yeah.
the difference. Can I just explain?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So if it's known, this is the likelihood right here. This is the likelihood. You can notice how many sets of zeros there are. This is the likelihood of guessing through brute force attack your unique private key. Thank you for that. But if you were to incorporate a passphrase, it would be 13. Shut the fuck up. With 171 zeros after it. So right here we've got what? We've got 15, 12, 15, 16 batches of 3 zeros. See that? If you multiply that by if you multiply that times 10 or 12, you would get the amount of zeros with 100.
Basically, the difference between 2 to the power of 256 and between 2 to the power of 512.
That's correct.
So better get to work, hackers. It's going to take a long time.
Neither of these things are a real problem right now, but in the future, why cut half of the encryption out of the whole equation if you don't have to, right?
And by people, when we say cut half of the encryption in size, it doesn't mean it's only twice as hard to guess. It's a lot, many orders of magnitude higher.
Yes.
Go. It's great having you here. Don't do it to me. I beg you. No.
What movie is that?
That's
Shout out to
Shillem
Dafoe. Shout out to Shillem Dafoe. Before we go, I have to show from a viewer submission. Before we go to the outro, I have to show one joke. Cover your ears, kids. This is coming from Bob Guy and DG, who is disguised as that body mechanic in the chat. Check this out. And then we outro this bitch.
Master debaters.
What is black, crispy, and sits at the top of the stairs? Stephen Hawking in a house fire. We may all be master debaters, Bob, but you, sir, are a cunning linguist.
What the fuck?
I think you mean... What the hex?
Outro.